Hi, I'm Danny, and in today's video, we're going to install an Atlas throttle lock, their cruise control system, on my Tiger Triumph over there. And I'm going to show you all the little parts, show you how to put it on the bike, and then also we'll take it out for a little ride and see how it goes. Now, the Atlas throttle lock is a bike-specific part, so you want to make sure that you're ordering the right unit for your bike, but it is pretty universal as far as all the makes and models that it will cover. You can get it in a top kit or a bottom kit. I got the top kit. You can get it in black or a polished type of stainless finish. It is a little pricey. The basic unit like I got is $145 or $140, and I believe the stainless model is up around $155. So not the cheapest thing out there, but it is good quality. So let me just show you what comes with it and go over a couple of basics, and then we'll jump on the bike here. Basically what you're getting in the package here is the main body of the unit, and as well as this piece here. And when it comes, it will be kind of installed like this, and you pop this piece off of there. Now, the key to this whole thing is really this tab right here, because that's what pushes out and creates friction between your throttle and the throttle assembly. And the most important part when you are installing this is to get the right thickness of rubber piece right here. So what you can see is you get these two basic units, you get a little sterilizing cleaning pad, and then over here you get these little rubber pads, and they give you a bunch of different sizes from pretty thick all the way down to just a whisper thin, and they have adhesive on them. So I started with a fairly thick pad, and what I realized real quickly was it was too tight. So even before tightening up the unit, turned the throttle, and it wasn't going to go back at all. And so I ended up using the absolute thinnest of the pieces right there. And again, you can see that all you're doing is it's just creating friction there. Okay, and then it comes with an Allen key and one little screw that you're going to need. And of course, stickers, because everything's got to come with stickers, right? So that's what the basics are of what comes with the package. So let's jump over to the bike. The bike, it's over there. That's a different bike over there. That's a pedal bike. Let's jump over here to the Triumph, and we'll install this thing. So when you first get the unit, it's going to kind of look like this, kind of partially assembled. But basically all that happens is this piece just pops right out of there. And then on this end, you have a little bit of a ratchety type of cut into that metal. And that's going to correspond with these little ratchet pieces here. Now it's a little hard to see all these small pieces on the video here. But anyway, so the first thing you're going to want to do is test out which of these rubber pieces is going to fit best between your throttle and the throttle housing. And like I said earlier, I ended up going down to the absolute thinnest little piece of rubber there. Let me get a little better light on here for you. Because essentially all this does is when you engage this, it's just pushing that out. Once you've kind of done that, you're going to take that alcohol pad that comes with it, and you can use any kind of pad for that. You're going to clean that area and then attach that rubber pad. Then when you come over to your bike, you're going to want to just place this between the throttle and the throttle housing, and you kind of want to check the movement there. And the two things you're going to want to look at is positioning on here as far as how it relates to your hand when you're riding, but also kind of what spot actually is going to move the best with the bike. Now, once you have that, you're going to take this other piece, you're going to come underneath, and you're going to slide that little piece right back into that hole that it came out of. And it's a little hard to see. And there is a hole to screw that in, but you don't want to screw it yet. So then on the other side where the ratchet is, you're only going to push it up just a little bit. So you line up those little ratchet holes, and we push it just so we get one or two clicks. So now you can see this piece underneath here, it kind of moves on a swivel. So once you have that done, now we're going to take that small little set screw that comes with it. It's the only other part that goes through here. And we're going to want to thread that in. The key is, though, we only want to get it in there a turn or two for right now. It's a little hard to thread a little bit here. Okay, but it's in a turn or two. So once it's in a turn or two, we back off this piece, pull it out until it kind of goes up against that set screw. Now from there, on the other side, just by hand, we're going to push that ratchety piece in. Okay, so as you can see there, I've got throttle return. Okay, now we can go ahead and tighten this set screw a little bit. And the key, once you're doing your final tightening here, is you just have to experiment a little bit with getting a nice kind of in between of snug but not too tight that it stops the throttle from moving. So there, we've got it on. It's pretty snug, and I've got the throttle returning nicely. So maybe I'll snug it down a tad more so that I can get rid of any kind of play in there. And these are like, if you got bad eyes like me, these little screws are tough. Okay, that's pretty tight. I might have over tightened it a little bit here. So you can see when it's engaged now, it's holding the throttle, and when you undo it. Okay. So that's the basic installation, and probably like me, you'll have to mess around with how tight you make this to get that nice middle ground where it holds the throttle nice, and that this unit, you know, because even like this, there's just a tiny little bit of play in there. And if there's much play, it's going to make it a little harder to engage these buttons. You know, because again, when you press down the engage button here, it's really just pushing out that flange of metal with the rubber on it. So it is a mechanical operation. So you got to put a little bit of force into it. It's not just a tap, you know, like some type of electronic cruise control. But so you'll have to mess around with that a little bit. And if it's real sticky and you can't get the throttle to return, most likely you have too thick of a rubber piece on there. All right, let's we're going to do a ride here this week. Let's check this thing out on the road. So far, really liking the Atlas Throttle lock cruise control. It works really, really well. I might tighten it up a little bit when I get home. It's just sort of, I think, kind of working itself in. But this little button releases it right there. And what I've noticed is when you go to engage it, you won't really notice like any kind of click or feel anything like that, but it doesn't take much to engage it. When I was playing with it at first at home, it seemed like you really had to push hard on it, but I think it's just sort of working its way in. So probably when I get done back to my house, I'll tighten up this little adjustment screw a little bit under there, just to give it a little more snugness, because I noticed it slipping just a little bit on me. I mean, it's working fine, but it's starting, I can tell it's starting to slip a little. So I think it's just sort of working its way in a little bit. So, but other than that, this thing works really, really nicely. Some final thoughts here on the Atlas Throttle lock. I really, really like it. I've had a little bit more time to ride with it. It's working great. I hope the installation video helped you guys out a little bit. When I was just reading through the instructions, sometimes in print, instructions can just make something kind of confusing, even though once you finally do it, you realize, oh, okay, it was pretty simple. So shockingly, Atlas didn't have just a simple installation video on their website. So I hope this one helps you. Quick shout out to my buddy Carrie from Choppers Magazine. Sent me a big box of t-shirts and hats while I was laying in the hospital getting better from my appendix and little infection that I had. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. What do you think, Callie? Atlas Throttle lock for everyone?
She doesn't seem that enthused. All right, take care. Please consider subscribing.